And I'm going to tell you that it adds to our challenge. People who decide to stay, I understand the desire to stay and protect your house. I do get that. The problem is this goes on when they're out wandering around or looking around, maybe examining their neighbors' properties and things like that. They're often confused as people who might be looting, and so that creates issues for our law enforcement officers because we have to go and check those individuals out. In addition to that, we can't allow, once we have ordered an evacuation area, we can't allow people to go in and out, in and out. And so if they choose to leave, we're not going to allow them back in. As far as people who are on the who chose to evacuate, we appreciate that they did. We can't allow them to go back in until the scene is safe, or until the area is safe. And a lot of people have this belief that once there's no visible fire, they should be allowed to go in. But the problem with that is that the fire could reignite because there's embers or hot spots. There's down power lines, there's down trees, there's all kinds of hazards. There is hazardous waste, all those kinds of things, which all has to be dealt with before we can safely allow people to go in. And so how they're dealt with ultimately if they're there. I do ask all of our law enforcement officers to use common sense to try to determine whether or not those people have a legitimate right to be there. And we also recognize that in the most cases, these are honest, good citizens. They've been traumatized. And my preference would not be to arrest those individuals because that's problematic for everybody and creates a bigger problem. That said, if you're in the area because you stayed and you interfere with firefighting efforts, you interfere with law enforcement efforts, or you go somewhere where you don't have a legal right to go, or you somehow become some other problem, you are subject to arrest. I would just ask people to be cooperative and not put us in this position. I want to add one more thing to that. And that is, as I've told you time and again, we don't order these evacuations without really believing that it's important to do so. And when people leave, we appreciate that. We also appreciate when people want to get back. But when you go back and you go to a traffic control point and you make contact with a California Highway Patrol officer who is doing his or her job to protect the community, we find people get frustrated with them. They yell at them. Sometimes they try to drive around them. Please be respectful and understand that they're doing a job to try to protect your safety. Likewise, my dispatch center is inundated with calls for service, people trying to find loved ones, people reporting emergencies, and we often get calls of irate individuals who are demanding to be let back into an area that it's not safe to be let into. They berate our dispatchers, and ultimately they take up valuable time. I am completely respectful and understanding of the desire to get back, and we are working very diligently to get people back to their homes as quickly as we can, but it has to be done safely. Thank you.